deliver consistent high purity products to
Derek, thanks for joining me again. It's certainly been a whirlwind few months for AnteoTech. Last week, one of your customers, Ellume, signed an agreement with the US Department of Defense for its Emergency Use Authorisation COVID-19 at-home test. How important was this development for Anteo and the validation of its AnteoBind technology?
Great, thanks, Alex. It's good to be with you again. And the last few months has been a whirlwind, as you say. The teams are working very, very hard at the moment in a time when the business is starting to get some real traction. And it's such a welcome that Ellume, our biggest customer, has had such success in the marketplace. And we congratulate them on that success. And they're good friends of ours. And we hope that they will obviously do well in the future. For us, the events of the last few weeks with them has meant that we have a validation of our AnteoBind technology in a test that's been FDA approved and is in mass scale production. And it's the first one of its kind. We do obviously have AnteoBind in many products in development, but this is the first one that's being produced at scale and is FDA approved for the US market. So that's very important to us. It provides us with a position in the diagnostic market now, a validated position that we can leverage from and showcase the capabilities of AnteoBind use at scale. And that will obviously turn into increased use of AnteoBind in the diagnostic market and therefore revenues in the future for us. So it's a very important event. Ellume have been a seed customer of ours for the last 5 years or so, and we've helped them along with their journey in terms of the development and their use of AnteoBind. And it's a great thing that they've had success, and we will leverage that into the future, as I say, to generate more revenues.
So, Derek, Anteo is also developing its rapid tests. What are the next steps for the company here?
Okay, well, we've got so much activity on our rapid test front ourselves. The teams are working extremely hard. A couple of streams of activity. Obviously, we've been building up the platform technology with Axon, and that process is coming to its end now. That's been a really good relationship that we have with them. And the platform is working well with our test. Separately, we've been working with our manufacturing partner, Operon, in Spain, and that's been a very detailed process to do technical transfer from our development team to Operon in Spain so that they can manufacture at scale. Where they are at the moment is that they've done a desktop run of the test, so quite a good volume of a run of the test on the desktop, and they're about to move to reel, which is the mass scale production that will happen in the next week or so. And those two streams are feeding into the finalisation of the clinical trial that we're running with the Doherty Institute and Vidril in particular. And so the manufactured strips will finalise our clinical trial run with Vidril, and those elements will be finished before the end of Q1, as we've previously reported. So a lot of activities going on there, and we remain on track to finish our development at the end of Q1 this year.
So following on from that, Derek, I understand you are targeting the European market, and you've mentioned previously the hurdles involved in getting these tests onto the market. What does the pathway to market look like here in a regulatory approval sense? And why does the European market appeal to you?
Yeah, look, there's a number of options we've had, and we've assessed them as we've been developing. As you know, the COVID-19 market, due to the pandemic, is quite dynamic, and we've been looking at how the market has been shaping up for us as we've been doing our development. We've decided to focus on the European market for a number of reasons. Obviously, it's a much larger market than, say, the Australian market, and we've based our manufacturing capability in Europe anyway. So it's an easier market to enter simply because our manufacturing base is in Europe as well. So we are targeting to go through the CE approval, which is the European approval, and that process is stringent as all regulatory approval processes are. But we're confident that we're on the right road to get that finished before the end of Q1. And we will be submitting a few weeks prior to the end of Q1, and we believe that we will be successful in getting our CE approval in the timeframes that have been articulated. So once we have that approval, we've got the opportunity to run that through a distribution network, which we're working on separately. We have teams on the ground in Europe that we've engaged to work on our behalf to set up our distribution network. And they are doing that right now. We'll complete that process over the next 4 to 6 weeks with them. And those distributors will be marketing our test in individual countries. Now, some countries have further regulatory processes that they need to go through in terms of their public health regimes, and we'll have to go through those as well to put our tests in the market. So we expect that further processes will be required from us on those fronts. So it's, again, a little bit of a pathway that we need to go through to get there, but we're confident that we've got the right information and a good test that will get through there. So in the second quarter, we'll be marketing our tests pretty proactively, and we expect the first sales through our distributors in Europe to occur in that timeframe.
And finally, Derek, obviously COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon, so the global demand for rapid tests will likely continue. Outside of Europe, where do you see opportunities for market entry?
Yeah, good question. I think we would approach that from a couple of fronts. Obviously, we've got a COVID-19 standalone test that we've been working on, and as I say, we're going to release very soon. But separate to that, we're swapping the development team from the COVID-19 standalone test to the COVID-19 Flu A, Flu B multiplex test very soon as well. So we'll begin development work on that with a view to bringing that out as soon as we possibly can. And separate to that is, again, we're still working on our saliva-based use case, or the saliva-based offering with our test, and that's progressing very well. And we believe we'll have that finished quite soon and offer that to the market as well. So that in terms of differentiation, I think we've got a range of different things that we can put to different markets at different times. And again, we're assessing how those opportunities are shaping up for us as the dynamics of the COVID-19 market shape up. The big ticket items for us are obviously the US market. We're planning a market entry at some point after the European market for the US market, and we've got a number of options of doing that with the COVID-19 standalone or with the multiplex test. So we're assessing that, and we'll release information about our plans as they come together. But the rest of Asia is another key area for us, and we think we've got probably a good opportunity for us to enter with the COVID-19 standalone or the multiplex test during the course of the year for Asia as well. So they're the areas that we're looking at. You're right. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic is not going to go away soon. And our original business case of 3 to 5 years is, I think, starting to come to fruition. So we've got a great opportunity. We will intend to leverage that as best we possibly can.
Thanks, Derek. There's certainly plenty of moving pieces for AnteoTech, but again, really appreciate you joining me today, and all the best.
Great. Thanks very much.